But it's like, I don't think they even tried. I mean, Haruhi, the actress they got for Haruhi, you can obviously tell that it's a girl in the first, before her makeover.
Well, I mean, I have to say, if most people have seen Ouran High School Host Club, which is mostly girls, or I guess the 90% of them are going to be girls or whatever, I don't think anybody I don't know what, actually, I don't know what has that, I don't know what that has to do with what I'm talking about, but those who have seen the anime probably already know.
I don't know, it just really bothered me. Just because I'm a fan of this series. And it seems like they didn't really try that hard. They changed the school uniforms from what they look like in the show. But I actually like the design of the uniforms in the live action. And the actors do a good job, but they don't really match up as well as like the seiyus for Ouran, or even the American voice actors for the anime. There's one thing that Samurai said, which kind of made me laugh. He said that Mori looked 30, and that just made me laugh.
You could argue and say that Yosuke looked 30.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know the character's name. I've never seen the show.
They didn't even look like high schoolers. Like,
they look more like college students and people out of college.
I know. I was disappointed with this episode. Don't worry, we're not going to be talking about Ouran High School Host Club every week on the Tokusatsu Corner. I just had to bring it up, and that's my 2 cents. Now I'm gonna bring it over to my colleague and get his thoughts.
I just thought it was bad all around. I mean, I guess you have to appreciate the anime to like it, but I just think that stuff that worked in the anime did not work in the live action show. Especially some of the, I just want to call it the CG effects for like, what was it? Like, I guess when his heart popped out of his chest and he was like, I guess mourning over Haruhi's mom? That's what I got from it. It didn't really work. I mean, I know it's supposed to be cute and all, and I know everyone's supposed to like fangasm over it, but I just didn't find that it worked at all. That's just because I'm very nitpicky when it comes to CG, and I can forgive Kamen Rider for this. I mean, it's cheesy, and so is Power Rangers. It's supposed to be cheesy, but this, you're supposed to take these high schoolers seriously when they don't even look like high schoolers. So I just could not get into it, and I've only seen clips, if only one episode of the actual show, and I thought it's got its ups and downs, but I never really got into it. So I've only got the first episode to go on, so my input's not probably going to be meaningless here. But I just thought it was bad.
And we're going to have a link to the first episode in the description. And if you're interested in other J-drama, check out Drama Crazy. They have a whole bunch of J-drama shows that you can check out. And pretty interesting site. I actually saw some Kamen Rider stuff there. Yeah, I saw like a couple episodes of Kiva on that site a few months back.
Kiva's always a good show to watch.
Yes, it is. Love Kiva. But now we move on to our next discussion topic, which is the Power Rangers Samurai panel that we mentioned earlier.
I thought it was a good panel. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was good. Actually, I respected the actors a little more after hearing them talk instead of like act as like wood.
Yeah. I guess you have to see them out of their element, and for them to, speak about Power Rangers and stuff like that, I mean, it really shows you a whole new perspective, although I still think they're terrible at their acting, but they're, like they said before, they're going to make some changes in the second season, so, fingers crossed, and that'll be good.
It was great seeing Bulk MC the event, because he was just cracking off jokes, and he's a naturally funny person.
I think my favorite comment or question that was asked to him is that would you like to be a Power Ranger? And that he respectively said no, because when you give a funny character, when you make him a Power Ranger, you take away what's good about him. And though I respect him for it, I would still like to see Bulk be a Power Ranger.
That would be awesome, but
I still think he would be a great Power Ranger. He would be comical, but he would be a great Power Ranger, and I really respect this guy for answering. Actually, I was hoping that he would answer that way. It just proves that he's more of a Power Ranger than anybody will ever be.
yeah, he's like he's a great humble guy about it, and in many ways he's like a better character in Power Rangers than like Tommy, and he's like the ultimate ranger.
I wouldn't go so far as to say he's better than Tommy. I mean, no one's better than Tommy, but he's pretty high up there. I would consider him a Power Ranger. And on the off chance that he's actually listening to this, on the very off chance he's listening to this, I respect him. I really do respect him, man.
You know, I actually got a feeling that the actor who plays the Green Ranger, you could tell he loves Power Rangers.
He was put into this from like since day one, so it would be hard to not like him or love Power Rangers.
Great panel overall, and it got me excited for season 2.
I will say I am a little bit excited for season 2. I mean, my hopes aren't so my hopes aren't so high, but I hope that they do a better job in this version than the other version.
Yeah, we just gotta wait and see. And the last point of our discussion topic is it was actually asked to us by one of our trivia winners, Ninja Shadow Tales, and he asked our opinion on civilian powers, like in Dino Thunder and SPD.
You wanna start this off?
Alright. Well, in Dino Thunder, I thought it was okay. Like, okay, they got these powers when they got the Dino Gems. Like, that makes sense. Although, it doesn't really make sense that Trent and Tommy had similar powers, with Tommy being able to become invisible and Trent being able to camouflage. I believe that's what his power was.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. But that's beside the point. I thought it made sense in Dino Thunder. I didn't have too much of a problem with it. I mean, like, it was cool. It was different. Although I get like Ethan having like super extra tough skin like a Triceratops, and Kira having a scream because of pterodactyls, but I never seen like a Tyrannosaurus Rex like run really fast. Then again, I never seen a Tyrannosaurus.
I mean, Tyrannosaurus had really big legs, so it makes sense that they would run fast.
Oh yeah.
But not at the speed of lightning.
No.
I mean, they could probably clock them in at like, what, 40, 50 miles an hour? I mean, if you put that into a human speed, you could probably do that. But
Yeah, that makes
I don't know, that's just me talking.
But as for Power Rangers SPD, I love the show, don't get me wrong, but I was just wondering why. I don't think they need special powers because
they're police. They're police set in an environment where the Power Rangers are needed. All they really need are guns.
Right. But I wasn't as accepting to the civilian powers as I was in Dino Thunder because they didn't even they had them. It just like showed them out of the blue, and it's just like, okay, well, how'd they get these? They explain it later on in the series, but I'm still not a big fan of civilian powers in SPD because, like I mentioned a couple minutes ago, in Dino Thunder, the Dino Rangers got their abilities when they got their Dino Gems, and how many times can I say Dino in this sentence? But in SPD, in the start of the series, they already had their abilities, but they were like genetically like changed, mutated when they were young. If I remember correctly, it's been a long while since I've seen the show. But yeah, that's my little opinion about civilian powers. Now, gonna throw it over to my partner here.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Who is the person who asked this question again?
Ninja Shadow Tales.
All right, Ninja Shadow Tales. My opinion on this is mixed because, like my cohort here, I agree that civilian powers are good to an extent, but I also have to take a reference from Linkara when I say that it kind of takes away from the suit acting because we come to see Power Rangers, not superhumans.
Right.
But I don't completely agree with Linkara on this point. Because I do think civilian powers have a use, if they're used properly. Dino Thunder, they touch the Dino Gems, and they get their powers. Their powers make sense, except for Trent and Tommy, but that's just a small oversight. I guess they didn't put too much, I guess they didn't put too much thought into their powers, because the focus was basically focused on these three people. Now, in SPD, I kind of forgot about their civilian powers until just this moment. So, I mean, I guess they can jump high, or I guess they're Superman. But it's not really necessary in SPD because, like I said before, they're policemen. Their presence is supposed to be known. They're supposed to become Power Rangers. If anything, they should only have guns. I think that civilian powers are not necessary in SPD, but were necessary in Dino Thunder. So I think civilian powers are great if they're used properly. If they're not, then it's just meaningless, and we don't really need to see it, just bring me the suits.
Yeah, because what I remember when I was a kid watching Mighty Morphin with the non-Sentai footage, it's just seeing the actors actually fight, like you see them fight putties and such, and that's what you wanted to see, like karate.
I mean, you would imitate that. You can't. I mean, I would go out to random cars when I was little, and I got real in trouble for this, because I would always take a hammer and be like, "Die, car monster!" Smash his headlights. Uh-oh. But you can't arrest a child. But you can't imitate civilian powers because they don't exist.
But the way that they use them in Dino Thunder does make sense, like they take advantage of them. It's like, you know what? That's okay. I can see that. If I had the power of a Triceratops, I could see myself with blue, glowy, scale arms.
Are we referencing Twilight a little bit?
No. We are not mentioning that in this podcast.
Too late. Discuss.
Bastard. I hate Twilight. Edward Cullen should go sucking a cock. That's my discussion.
Everybody hates Twilight, except for the people who don't matter. Queens, I'm talking to you.
Did we mention that this was a explicit podcast?
No, well, they should have seen the first episode. If they didn't, then they can go fuck off.
I think...
Oh, I'm kidding.
Slightly. But let's move on to our superhero time discussion. That's right, I decided to rename our Ozenko Kaiger discussion part.
You changed it well.
Now, in this segment of Tokusatsu Corner superhero time chat thingy.
I think we should talk about O's first because O's is getting serious.
Yeah, and before we do, if you have yet seen these episodes, go watch them and then come back and listen to our show. Now, Kamen Rider O's 42. Jesus Christ.
Shit is going down, man. I have never seen so much depressing stuff.
I mean, I know Eiji's becoming a greed. Dr. Maki is becoming a greed, but nobody gives a shit about him.
He's already a greed, man.
And Eiji's distancing himself from his friends, and it feels like he has a responsibility as O's to protect the people of the city.